All right. Today I have with me, this is broadcasting Esports Every Play, interviewing Shadowind from Moonlight. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling well rested.
That's good. It's especially good to stay well rested, especially before a big tournament coming up. But before that, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your team Moonlight? I'm sure everyone's heard of them already, but just like your role on the team and everything like that.
Let's see. I play support slash flex for Moonlight. The team, it's really nice. We all kind of flex around our weapon pool because we've been a team for 2 years now, which is super amazing. I'm super blessed to have them. But we all can flex our weapons around and play different kind of roles. But predominantly, Basil's playing Pen backline, and Omega and Nolan are on aggro support or aggro weapons, and then I'm playing the support weapon. But yeah.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And you guys have definitely been one of the longer teams. I would say fan favorites, as some have said, even America's
2 years.
sweetheart. Yeah, exactly. America's sweetheart. I'd love to see it. But on that vein, you guys have been going on a little bit of a world tour, or at least an America's tour, with a lot of
Yep.
land so far. So could you tell me a little bit more about your land experiences with the team and how that's been going? I mean, you won both of them. Tell us a little bit about those events.
LAN experiences are pretty much like what I live for in the Splatoon community. It's the best part for sure. Getting to connect with people like closely with that, it's the best part. Especially seeing all these events and landmarks. Like we went to the CN Tower and the aquarium and the zoo. Like just everything in that location is great, but then you like hone it down to the Splatoon specific events, and there's so many people that care about the game and are just so passionate about being there. It's a really great environment to be in. And then obviously I'm super happy we get to compete and then be able to do really well.
Yeah, you guys have been on streak, I would say. Hopefully, no one shows up and stops it, but I believe in y'all to really get that. I'm sure also having the crowd cheering on your side for that a lot of the time is an
Like
amazing part. It's
blessed
kind of a
blessed to have the
superpower.
crowd.
Yeah, literally. And then also it's definitely a buff home field advantage a lot of the time. But yeah.
I wouldn't
Um
say we have home field advantage in Toronto, but the
yeah,
crowd
okay,
was
that's
the
true.
crowd was
That's true.
supporting, so maybe.
Yeah, that's awesome though. Yeah. Um, but sort of in that vein, or actually, it's not pivoting to this. There's been a lot of excitement in Splatoon in general, especially around this new patch. Especially seeing a lot of teams how they're adapting. Some people are finding new weapons that really fit their play style, and other
Mhm.
people have just been playing the same old because a lot of it still works. But specifically on your end and on Moonlight's end, we've noticed that there's been a lot of roster or weapon shuffling. You guys have been experimenting a lot of things, especially specifically you, I'd say. Um, I'm not a tier 1 sub yet, but maybe soon. We've been seeing you experiment and move away from your signature on the 10th. Um,
Mhm.
could you tell us a little bit more about your and the team's journey, kind of looking around at new weapons, new team comps, and everything, and what struggles or benefits you guys have found from it?
Sure. As I said earlier, all of us are super flexible players, and that's what makes a really good team, is that I'm not locked into one tricking 10 umbrella, because if I was, then it would be a lot harder for the team to build around and make comps. But all of us are super flexible, and when the new patch came out, like 30 new weapons were added, I believe. And that is just going to shake up the meta, like no matter anyway what happens. So there's a lot of what's the word? There's a lot of experimentation happening in every level of Splatoon right now, just because there's so many new things. There's so many new weapons that can potentially shake up the meta. People thought that Rapid was going to take down Pencil. That didn't happen, but that experimentation still has to go through and still has to like see how it works, see how it goes. Um, I played a bunch of new weapons. I played the new Remy Splatling with Zuka. People thought that was going to be the greatest weapon of all time. It stopped after 2 weeks. So we just have to start flexing in different weapons, playing different things, and then kind of see where that takes us. Um, So super blessed that we're able to be flexible, but experimentation always happens after a big patch, and then people are still experimenting right now. Tomorrow, this interview is being recorded on Friday, but tomorrow in the qualifier for the World Series, there's going to be a lot more experimentation. You're going to see things you haven't seen before. Based off scrims we've been doing, you're going to see brand new things. So it's going to be really exciting to watch all the teams, and there's a lot of teams, so I'm excited.
I'm curious if you don't mind me saying I don't think this is even going to go live until at least tomorrow because I'd still have
Sure.
to edit it. But what weapons
Yeah.
have you specifically, besides the Remy? You said it wasn't working out too well. Like what weapons besides the Remy and obviously your signature with the tent have you been enjoying? It doesn't necessarily have to say, you know, oh, you're going to play it in bracket, but which ones have you been enjoying in terms of, you know, scrims and whatnot?
Well, okay, you just said scrims. I was gonna say weapons I've been enjoying. I've been playing bow.
Well, I mean that's fun too. I'm not gonna lie. I tried using the flux myself during the Splatfest. I don't understand how people play that weapon, but it's fun.
Yep.
I can't lie.
If you see me pull out a flux in bracket, you'll know we've been working. No, the flux. I mean, the flux is alright. I tried it in scrims a couple times. Not the best, but I think it's still a turf war exclusive weapon. But you'll see me playing 10, of course. You might see me on Zimmy. You might see me on Remy. You might see me on Splash. You might see me on Splash Neo. You might see me on Junior. You might see me on any support flex because I can kind of play them all. But 10 is where I'm at.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And like I said, I've been taking a look at the scrim. Sometimes I just look it over. When just looking through Splatoon streams, I'm like every single time I see you experimenting with something different, it's so weird because you're the tech guy. But it's good. It's good to know that you're flexible.
Yep.
But yeah, diving a little bit more into, you know, the rough experimentation patch, I wanted to ask a little bit more about, you know, your recent tournament runs, especially with Moonlight. Super Jump 5 didn't go nearly as planned. It was a little bit of a rough patch recently, and it definitely fell short of qualification to SWS. But I'm curious to ask, you know, what do you feel like from a team's perspective, even from your own perspective, maybe just what was going through your head on that day, especially, you know, the sets were close. I don't think they were bad at all, but you know, what do you think was keeping y'all from pushing at least the top 4?
You mean in the tournament?
Yeah, the day of or during the tournament.
Yeah.
That entire weekend.
I mean, I think that week we weren't able to practice as much, and we weren't as happy about our comps and our counterplay to other teams. But I mean, that day was a lot of like interpersonal like culture. That's super vague, but just a rough day, like nerves, everything. So I feel like we really got that reset after Super Jump, and you know, calm down, reset, and then we played the Freedom Dive tournament before Gommel, and that went very well. So I mean, it was really just an on the day thing, like nerves, and then surrounding that. But we really reset and felt a lot better in Freedom Dive. So after the tournament or after Super Jump, we were just like, all right, that was a one day thing. We weren't as prepped as we hoped we'd be, but was lock in for the qual and then go from there. Because we're competitors, we don't say we lost one tournament, it's over. All right, we're done. We're competitors. We keep pushing.
That's awesome to hear. And I was going to mention that Freedom Dive, you know, bounce back. And then not only that, I'm sure, you know, keeping spirits high with the Gamma win as well. It's good to see that you guys are on that bounce back and you guys are, you know, performing well. That Freedom Dive run was spectacular. You guys had me up until 1 a.m. Watching that.
It went very late. It went very late.
It did really go very late. But it's good to see that you guys have that mental comeback. Do you think, you know, having come back, you know, from Gommel, doing that Freedom Dive thing to really solidify that you guys still got this, do you think your mental and the team's mental in general will stay consistent going forward? Because I know a big narrative that people have said is that you never know what Moonlight you're going to get on the day. Do
Mm.
you think going forward, especially after this bounce back, that you guys will be able to keep the energy, especially going into tomorrow?
I mean, I don't know who's saying that, but you're getting the same Moonlight.
I don't know.
We've been a team for 2 years,
It's
so we're
true.
not going anywhere.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. You guys play pretty consistently top level stuff, but yeah, I've seen the narratives. But you guys have been definitely upsetting a lot of or not. It's not even an upset. It's just more so like you guys have been knocking down teams, especially in sets. FT Win specifically, y'all have their number, especially as of late. Um, but speaking of FT Win and specific teams, we see
Sure.
quite a few teams have signed up for SWS so far. Could you tell me a little bit about which teams you would say, uh, have your eye, have your interest? Which ones do you think you're going to have a close set with? Which ones are we would say a little worried to go up against? I could pull up some of them right now, but I know some of the big
I
ones.
just pulled up the bracket.
Okay,
You
yeah.
said it earlier. I mean, FT Win is obviously number one. They're first seed. They're the team to beat this tournament. They weren't able to play Super Jump, and I think they would have placed pretty high if they had played. But when we played them in Freedom Dive, Biscuit had just come back from vacation, and I think Sam had also just come back from something. So they were at their weakest form in Freedom Dive, and we kind of sold games 2 and 3, but we still
Mhm,
ended up winning the set. So them at their weakest, we were still able to win, but they've been practicing a bunch leading up to this tournament.
mhm,
So they're a lot stronger now than they were for Freedom Dive.
mhm,
Um, so obviously they're seed one, they're the team to beat. Got my eyes on them because obviously beating them is pretty good
mhm,
achievement there. Um, Looking at the rest of the bracket, I see Frutella. Um, Saw Max scrimmed Frutella and they were doing pretty decently, so I
mhm.
want to fight them and then see how it goes. I don't know if I've ever fought them before, so I'm excited to see how they do.
First time, yeah.
Um, Duck Motif is back. They're seeded 6 for some reason, but they've always been they've always been pretty decent, so it's good to see them back. Hopefully we get to play them. Healthy Diet is on here. We had a bit of trouble with Healthy Diet. Um, maybe a couple months ago, but we scrimmed them one time. We feel a lot better about countering their playstyle now. So if we get to play them, I think I'm pretty confident now based on the result we had on them last time. And then Black Lotus is also here. They've been struggling a bit recently, but it's always fun fighting them because it's a 10v10 matchup. So there might not lied.
That's
Anger
true.
is not on their roster this time.
Oh, it's not.
Anger is not playing, so we'll see how they do.
Mhm,
Um, yeah, I think that's it for the teams that I recognize on here.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
mostly FT win. I think getting to FT win and playing them is obviously the goal. There's a bunch of other
Mhm,
teams on here that haven't fought in a while, but
mhm.
that would be nice to fight and see how they're doing and kind of test ourselves. Always keep ourselves in check. But FT win is the goal.
Nice, nice. But yeah, I just want to end off just specifically asking about this first and second spot.
Hmm.
Well, it's a two-folded question.
Sure.
Obviously you need the first and second to qualify into SWS. Um, at least from a Western seat. But right now, you guys aren't seated. This currently, I've seen the TOs say that the seating currently right now is solely based off Sendoku points. It's not
Hmm.
seated by the tournament organizers yet, but currently,
Yep.
Frutella is seated above you all. I kind of want to hone in on kind of that matchup. Uh, if you were to go up against them, do you think you'd be able to at least snag a top two to qualify, or are you feeling a little shaky and a little worried about a potential third or fourth?
Well, if it's seeded by Sendoku points, then you know that the seedings are not quite accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we have never fought them,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see what happens. Currently, they're seated above us. If the event actually gets seeded, we'll see where the seedings are.
Mm-hmm.
Seedings are always a bit like, well, seed and
Yeah.
fruit, but they're always a bit fishy. So, I'm excited to fight them. They did well in a scrim versus Max, I saw.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what they've got, but I'm confident in ourselves for sure.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to see how y'all do. Hopefully y'all are able to take a seat for SWS.
Mhm.
But with that, those are all the questions I had for you for now. Once again, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me, kind of doing this interview. Is there anything you'd like to end off with or say or even plug or anything before we end this recording?
Let's see. It's 1 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday. 1 p.m. Saturday, be there. Gonna be some cinema. A lot of good teams playing. Um, yeah. Hopefully you all enjoy Splat World Series. Thanks for having me. Thanks for interviewing. And hopefully Moonlight can go to Riptide and then continue that world tour.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Moonlight light up. So yeah, thank you so
Thank you.
much.